my mind state was like, oh, if I can just infiltrate OVO and show them how good of a worker I am, and then I'll level up, and then I'll be working for Drake. This was my plan. This was my plan.
As an A&R.
And it as an A&R. This is a Because Design Matters exclusive. What is a little exclusive?
93.3. This is Because Design Matters on CFMU, and we are here with the one, the only.
What is my mic on?
This one I throw it to you.
Wasted Yovth. What's happening? Thank you very much for having me.
I appreciate you coming out. Of course. How was your day?
My day, you know what? It's my 15-year-old son's birthday today.
That's a solid day.
So I was able to get off work, and I took him out for a nice lunch, me and him, and bought him some new clothes and dropped him off at his little first prom thing. So like,
it's prom and your birthday in the same day.
Yeah, it's like a big day.
He's having a ball, right?
Yeah, he's having a ball, and like I got him these new soccer cleats, so he's just like onto the moon. Yeah. And then I'm going to the studio after, and I'm gonna just putter there all night.
See, this is a good day for you. It might as well be your birthday.
It feels like you know what? Yeah, it's been a beautiful day, and it's sun. It's nice outside. I was crushing a bulg out there, just thinking this is great.
Just all lining up. Summer's begun.
Yeah, the line at Timmy's up there was too long though. I was gonna get a coffee, and then I was like, "Ooh, that line! I'm already late."
I've been just watching people get rejected by the bubble tea place across the hall because they shut down for summer. They're like, "School started, but school's over. We don't care. We're closed."
Oh,
they just pulled the plug. Oh, just everybody walking. Oh.
just
and then just sad faces.
That's all they had to look forward to.
And now they got to go just drink like some sort of Tim
regular
Hortons.
Boba somewhere.
Love Tim Hortons, but if you're going for boba and then you have to go for like a hot chocolate or something instead,
it's a different vibe, definitely.
It's not their birthday.
Yeah.
60 seconds. Looking at that camera.
This one right here.
What are you here to promote?
Oh, okay. Well, hi. What am I here to promote? Well, I'm here to promote my art. I would love for people to feel the emotion in my art. You know, I've been writing. I've also been writing these books. So over the last 10 years, I've been having these like reoccurring nightmares, dreams where I go back to like this same place, this same like geographical area where I know the streets, and like my cell phone's there, but it doesn't work. So I talked to this like dream specialist, and she told me to start a dream journal. So over the years, I've started this dream journal, and I've started crafting those into books. So I've actually published my first book, which is like so cool. Sorry, I'm not published my first book, and
don't you look away from that camera?
Don't you look away from that camera right now, sir? And so I got my art brand, Wasted Yovth. We're doing a lot of fun stuff, and got a lot of big things coming up. So I'd love to chat about Wasted Yovth, about Hamilton, especially everything that's going on in Hamilton, kind of maybe the history a little bit of Hamilton, maybe some hip hop history people might not know. That's about it.
This is when I throw you a lob right at the start. This is where we decide where we're after this interview. Today, are you Wasted Yovth? Are you Jesse the AR? A&R. I said AR.
Shit, that's a deep. Today, I'm Wasted Yovth.
But do both exist?
Both exist. Now
you pointed out something on my post notes right away. You said, I worked on that.
I know, because I was looking. I was like, yeah. So creatively, okay. So, am I still looking at this camera?
No, you look
okay.
At me, yeah.
So creatively, I've always been a creative. I was actually born on tour. Like my dad was in a band. Didn't sleep in a tour like a crib for the first 18 months of my life.
Tour bus, like my whole life. So my whole life has been like around the music, recording, fashion, partying. And so
comes with the territory. So my first so I was like this rock kid. Then like I was living in this housing project, so I'm like this rock kid living the quote unquote hip hop rap lifestyle. But I was always like a writer. So how it started with my creative stuff is there was a guys out on the block, and I memorized the Method Man verse off his Tikal album, his original one.
Okay.
And I memorized this verse, and I head out to the block and I spit this verse, and the guys are like, oh, hard. And so what I started to do after that, you know, that was my first, because I was always like an outcast, like a poor kid, like black sheep kind of. So this was my first like acceptance. It was like, oh, I've kind of like found my people. And so what I started to do was just like take a beat and see how they rap, like how many words do they put in this frame, and then I would just take their words out, put my words in. Anyways, you know, that was how it started with music, rapping.
So that's like the remix, like you're rewriting
the
song,
like
same structure.
And then I was able to learn how to structure my own music. You know, fast forward, I had my first child. This is fast forward like 10 years after that.
Okay.
And I had backed out of the rap a little bit, you know, because it was just a negative lifestyle. It was dangerous. You know, at the level, and not that I was at a major level, but even at the level that I was at, it was a dangerous game. And I had made the decision at that point, like, I got my son, like, what am I really trying to do here? And I took a step back from making the music. Fast forward a year from there, and a friend, Diaz from Block Trade Music, he was managing Rochester and a couple Toronto acts.
Okay.
And he was like, hey, how would you feel about like coming on as a tour manager for Rochester? We got a little couple things. And I was like, oh man, that'd be great. You know, I get to use my expertise, but like with somebody else. So that was great. And from there, it just grew, you know, like from there, I was just in the studio. Like, this is the recording music side. I was just in the recording studio like all the time. And it's funny how it kind of circles back to the TOPSZN thing, because And so when I first started, he's like, want to be a tour manager, da-da-da. So I'm in the studio. They had a 6 studio in Mississauga. My mind state was like, oh, if I can just infiltrate OVO and show them how good of a worker I am, and then I'll level up, and then I'll be working for Drake. This was my plan. This was my plan.
As an A&R.
And it... As an A&R. Yeah, this was like the mid-creative point, you know? So I'm tour manager, starting A&Ring. Now, A&Ring is kind of like...
So, yeah, for somebody who doesn't know, explain what an A&R
so
is.
A&R is just like the guy that's got his head to the streets.
Yeah.
It's like when guys at the labels, they'll be like, hey, what's going on? What's hot? What's new? They rely on guys that
Trends
are kind of tapped in to be like,
and stuff like
get
that,
this guy.
Yeah.
You know, they know that I know what they're looking for. And an A&R is good because label heads, they're very business. Like, these guys aren't creative side brained, right? So they look at you, which they're supposed to, this is their job,
bottom line,
but
right?
The bottom line. Whereas the artist, and you're an artist, I know you're an artist, so like at the end of the day, you know, they don't care about, they just want their message heard, and they want it taken care of like a little baby. It's their baby.
You want somebody to care about it, right?
And the labels don't. So an A&R is kind of that middle guy. Okay, I get it, super sensitive, creative guy, and I get it, super money hungry guy.
Yeah.
Let's work this out. And there's a lot more to it, but that's the
They
gist
could like
of
deliver the message back and forth a
That's
little more
right,
clear,
yeah,
right?
because these guys don't know how to talk to the artists, and the artists don't know how to, because the artists are too fueled up. Fire.
He doesn't care about my vision.
And F it. It's not coming out. You know, like,
need the money.
Think of all the great artists that, you know, just died off that we don't hear of anymore, that it's like, oh, the labels, and that's real stuff too, right?
Yeah.
Because, you know, at the end of the day,
that's part of why like Lauryn Hill stepped away. She was like, this is all evil. Like, this is terrible, right?
And
like,
and you know what? And that was a big part of why I stepped away from Jesse and A&R. So follow with me if you're following. So So I'm just going to backtrack to that thing. So, okay, we got the TOPSZN OVO thing. I'm going to leave that because I'm going to go into how Jesse the A&R started, and we'll cycle back to that. So, no, that works in actually. So then I started getting bigger names. I'm not going to name drop on this podcast because I think that's corny. But I started.
I'll bait you into a couple. That way it's not your fault, you know?
Yeah. So I started working like, you know, with we have it. We're going to talk.
Who's
about
the first person that you worked with? Let's go.
The first person I worked with out of the OVO camp was Majid Jordan, and how that
and is that the
Gave Your Love Away video? Yeah, I actually worked on quite a few Majid Jordan videos, and how that came about. Okay, so so this is how it happened, right? So I'm doing this, I'm working with bigger artists, and I'm thinking like, oh, if I can just like kind of weasel my way in, they're gonna see my
keep proving myself.
I'm gonna keep proving myself. Okay, so I get into a good groove with Jesse the A&R, and I realize like, hold on, like I did this. I didn't do this off the back of like somebody else. Mm-hmm. So I started like building some confidence in like what I can do. Like instead of like trying to be a runner in OVO, like why don't I just focus on what I'm doing right now?
And is that when the Boomin' Radio Tour comes into play?
And that's when the Boomin' Radio Tour comes into play. I love the notes. Yeah, and that's when and when I finally decided, and it's crazy how the universe works, because when I finally decided, like, dude, I'm not trying to like bug my way, because I got in, you know, like in the lower rungs, and this is how I did it. I badgered the SHIT out of these guys. I was like, hey, you need somebody to run for coffees, blah, blah, blah. Sure. And they would leave me, not even open the message, months. I would message them every month. The Prime Boys. And that was another big one for me anyways, because it was like Murda Beats and the Prime Boys and Donnie at the time and like all that. And I would just message them.
We talk about the persistence being so important.
I messaged Jermaine Prime.
Yeah.
Every month for months and months and months. And then finally he seen it. And then months and months. And then finally he was like, hey, you think it was a Puffy L's and Donnie video? And he was like, you think you can get a pizza store? And I was like, give me 5. Boom, called him right back. I was like, what time? He's like, what? I was like, that's just how I work. But that got me, like, I was able to do that on my own, not on the strength of anyone. So
that same persistence gets
the
job done that they're looking
has
for.
Gone. Well, how many times I messaged you? Hey, what Thursday? I'm good next Thursday. Here we are, right? Had I just messaged you one time,
sometimes it goes like, I go, yeah, when's the same promote? Busy. People go, and they go,
busy, buddy. I'm telling, I know it. That's why, you know,
I do
like
the same thing where you don't find, you're like,
and I'll tell you why. It divides and shows who really wants it or not. 100%. This game will make, and whether it's anything, creative, music, this game for me, in my opinion, will make quick work of people, because the amount of time, energy, and money that you put in
of all those things,
it doesn't come back financially. Not at first. And for me, it's not about any sort of financials, and that purity, I think, you know, it's like a weird twist, because like that purity is what will make the art last. You know, if it's done for a gallery or for this, or because you're feeling pressured financially or whatever it is, you know, I feel like it won't last. Back to Jesse the A&R a little bit. I'll finish that little saga.
Yeah,
because then it took a break, Jesse the A&R.
Before that, when you're doing the Boomin' Radio Tour, you were talking about,
I was in this room.
Was it in this room?
Yeah.
Was it Jay Steels and Mook?
Jay Steels. Oh, shout out Jay Steels.
Shout out Jay Steels. Yeah. Was Mook in the cut host at that time?
Mook was he was in the cut host, but that was a different show, right?
Yeah, they're two different shows.
What's Mook? Is he still doing that show?
He's in the cut. He's 10:30 tonight.
Beautiful.
Jay Steels. I thought it was coming to an end. Doesn't look like it's come to an end. It's still on live and direct.
Yeah.
You were giving advice to artists at the time,
right,
about what you think they should do.
Okay.
What was some of your advice then?
Oh, boy.
Versus what would you advise someone to do now?
You know what? Honestly, I don't think it would have changed too much. I think, and I know it's like, what I'm going to say is going to sound super cliche. You know, this super cliche.
That's the stuff people don't listen to, and it's just true sometimes, right?
It's just true. Like, you have to be your authentic self. You know, whatever that is, you know, you have to be your authentic self, and you have to, like, believe in it. If you don't like believe in it so much that you can't convince me, I'm not gonna believe in it. That means nobody's gonna believe in it. You gotta have the, like, I post I'll say, like, at MoMA, the Museum of Modern Art, see you in 5. See you in 5. I'm putting it in the universe, and I'm taking it.
It's mine.
You have to do that. Like, that is super important. Consistency, like you said, staying at it, because as a creative, here's where our minds go. We're hot on a topic. We're super excited about this. And then, like, if you're anything like my mind, I'm like, Oh, a fly. Oh, this, that.
I got 20 more ideas.
I got 20 more ideas. Yeah. And for me, that's another reason I'm strictly doing art now, because I can stretch myself so thin, you know, with all the things. So what I would say is always just like stay true to yourself, whatever your art form is, and put it out for you. You know, I find, you know, and I know this has been said, but like, artists will generally produce their worst art if they're creating it for something, for a soundtrack, for this. And I've just witnessed it, you know? Yeah. So just being authentic, the persistence, and just like the not stopping. Like, it takes a lot. And that's why I said before, like, it makes quick work of people that aren't serious. Mm-hmm. You can kind of tell right away, like, who's a hobbyist with it, which is fine.
Yeah.
Any sort of creative enjoying the arts is beautiful. But like, if like, I don't want to just be my friend Danny. I seen her write this. I don't want to be another brick in the wall. Like, ever since I was a kid, I felt like there was something more. There's a message here. Like, I didn't come this far and make it this far to just make it this far. Mm-hmm. So with
shout out Kim Kardashian on that quote.
Wait, is that a Kim Kardashian? Please slice me from here to here.
Drake sampled it though, so like it goes.
Okay, wait, is that a real quote?
She says on Search and Rescue, she goes, "I didn't come this far just to come this far,
well,
and not be happy." That's
I did say previously. A warning, I'm going to say corny stuff, right? I did say that, right?
I was listening to the song recently. I was like, jump back out.
Great song, anyways, by the way. Great song.
Oh, great song.
Yeah, so I think I would say the same thing. Mm-hmm. You know, I would say the same thing to the artists that are grinding and going. Just consistency.
Yeah,
you know, consistency is key.
It's not going to go anywhere without that. If you look at, you're talking about being busy and not seeing people's messages. Imagine you're the consumer now, and you're busy with your own life, and you only half care about arts, right? Like, so to get those people to care, whole other job.
Yeah.
To get people that just like passively listen to music or look at art, like.
Yep, and sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but that's why when like artists, I was working with an artist, I'm not going to name drop, but we had started working, and he was really garnering a thing. He was on the Flow 93.5, and he was like Spotify listed up, and like he was booming, and he let his friends get in his head. And I was like, buddy, we are on and he stopped making music, and it all died. Wow. Like all that he put in a lot of money. I put in a lot of time too. You know, I made some money, of course, but like, it's not worth it. And that's why
I'm doing it to see it keep going and elevate.
And that's why like I have a lot of artists, you know, that like could really have the pick of the litter of who I want to work with, but you know, I kind of transitioned away from Jesse the A&R because it's too much of a liability. Like, I was working with Smoke Dog, and right before that happened, you know, like in the studio with them, and it hits you close to home. Like, it's traumatic, right? Yeah. And it really made me think, like, what am I doing? What industry am I in? Sure. People don't have to go to work. And it was him and his manager, and I was not his manager, but I was in the circle of managers.
Yeah.
So it was, and it really hit home, right? So I was working with another artist at the time, and another big manager in Toronto, and he's such a snake. I'm not going to call him out. You know who you are. And that's why I quit Jesse the A&R, because you know what? All the producers, I was the secondary manager, right? And so all the producers coming to me, oh, what's going on with the pay? I would go to A and be like, hey, what's going on? Da da da. And he was like, oh yeah, I'll handle it. It was starting to drag my name, because now it's like, now I'm associating with you because like he's the top guy.
Yeah, I'm associated with you not getting paid now. Yeah.
Even now, people look at this guy like the GOAT, but they don't know the behind the scenes. And that's when I was like, no, I'm just like, I'm going to step back. You know, sure. I'm just going to step back from Jesse the A&R, and that's okay. You know, with creative, you know, I'm going to step back from Jesse the A&R, and it's okay to find your footing. You know, but through that time, I stayed consistent. You know, whether it be writing, whether it be working on art, whether it be behind the scenes, helping out artists, believing and
I think that's some people miss on it. It's like, if they don't continue to do the thing that got them some traction, then it's no good anymore. It's like, no, you keep going and change tracks, right? Like, it doesn't need to be.
Or I'd be a 41-year-old white rapper right now. Nothing wrong with that. Sure. Oh my God, that sounded like a diss. Sazy's my like.
I'm tagging some guys on this.
He's like this Sazy. Tag Sazy and check out Sazy. because this
you flipped that good. That spun into a positive.
It did, but I didn't mean it like that.
Sure,
what I meant is like I would never be here what I'm doing now if I would have just pigeonholed myself. Like, man, I put 10 years into rapping and X amount of dollars, and I ain't switching. I let it go, man.
Yeah, my degree says graphic design. I shouldn't be interviewing these people.
Now, and see, fast forward, and I never made $1 off my music.
Sure.
In the last year, I've made more money off my art than I did off anything creative my entire creative lifespan.
Yeah.
And I'm doing stuff that like I really love. I'm going all over literally, the world with it. And had I stopped myself,
or asked somebody and been like, what should I do? They would have told you to stay for it.
Because I'll tell you,
this is working already.
Everybody's got an opinion.
100%.
Everybody's got an opinion, and people are afraid to reach for their own goals, and they are afraid of you reaching for yours too. And they don't like. You'll see the tendency switch, and what's sad is it's in the closest. When I'm doing the best in life, sometimes the closest people, it's like, what is up with you?
Yeah, they're like, I didn't try, so
you
shouldn't
know what?
be trying.
I'm glad
either.
I wasn't born with that.
Yeah.
You know why? I'll tell you one reason right now. And I don't know, like, this could be my ego talking. This could be a bunch of stuff talking.
Sure.
But this is just my experience, okay?
Yeah.
Not that I'm better than anybody or anything, okay? But, when I'm confident in my skill set. So if I reach out to work with somebody that's doing better than me, I'm not going to go in and be, like, hating on the low. Like, I'm there to elevate.
Yeah.
But so many times, like, I guess I'm a big personality. I'm a grinder. I want to go, and people get weird about that.
Yeah.
They get their back up, man.
They want to downplay it in certain ways.
Grown men, yeah, I'm looking at you. They get their back up about what you're doing, and I never understood that. I was like, why are you worried about what I'm doing? Like, and not like, people say it on Instagram, like, I'm so busy doing me, I'm not worried about you. But like, realistically, like, dude, like, I'm dealing with you because, like, I see something of value in you, and I know from a business standpoint, from a many standpoints, collectively, you can reach greater heights, So I'm just glad that I was never born with that, like, hater bone. Now, that's not to say that I'm not, like, I don't see stuff all the time and, like, wish I could be there and, like, oh, that's really good. Wish I thought of that.
I don't like that.
That's different.
That's having an opinion and being there.
And
right?
I think... yeah, that's just listen to all that anger coming out from the music industry. But that's the music industry. It's pretty shady. And so moving on.
You sent me the photo,
right,
of you wearing the TOPSZN shirt. What year was that? I think you said 20.
Oh my god, my son was like 4. Gosh, my son was like 4.
Now, cut 2. What did you think of the Obi track?
I thought it was. You know what? It's nice to see him still working. It's nice to see him still working. And I remember that time. Obi is such like a. Because how long you been in Hamilton? A long time?
Yeah.
Okay. So
I was born here.
Hamilton, for anybody that doesn't know, is like a beautiful city in so many different ways, but it's also like a city of like massive oppression.
Yeah, it gets a bad rap, and
it's got a bad rap. And you know what? I can't stand people to say like blah 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 about
gets
Hamilton.
Associated with the smokestacks and cigarettes and downtown.
It's like junk and this and that.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, like my whole family lives in here, and I live here, and the most beautiful people. But why am I saying that? I was talking about Hamilton for
Obi coming up.
Okay, so when he came out and came out with the TOPSZN and had that cosign, it was like such an immense feeling of like, you go.
It's like right there.
It was like right there, and it was like such a proud moment. So like, this is years ago. Like my son's 15. This is 10 years ago. I bought the TOPSZN stuff, and here's a funny story. And I don't know if it was ever about me, but I was like, just like super TOPSZN fan. I was like, yeah, like Hamilton, like Drake. I'm like, this is fantastic. And I remember I was posting all sorts of stuff. I was making like my little. Like the little memes and tagging. And I remember he posted something. It was like in the Drake font. And it was like, for all the people like pretending like they're gang, you're not gang or something. And I was like, oh, that's me. I was like, oh, that's me.
I'm claiming TOPSZN right now.
I was like, because I've been totally like TOPSZN hat.
I haven't revealed this on the radio. We got TOPSZN on the side of the hat right
there
now.
You go. But hey,
send me the song.
But you know what? Hey, Steel City in the building.
Let's go.
Hey, there's not, you know what? There's such beautiful talent in Hamilton, but it's just, I don't know. It's like how like Canada is thought of like so far behind, you know, the States. Hamilton is thought of so far behind Toronto, but like the city is so beautiful. Like it's so old
and just
it's
like
so
flush
beautiful.
with like artists and creatives and all these different
and
avenues,
it's so
right?
great. Like Kyle Stewart. You know,
Phenomenal.
I came across his art and it was just like, it's just so great.
Love
you know,
this
and
stuff.
it's just so beautiful. And the more you know, because this is the thing, I lived in Hamilton, right? But most of my work was in Toronto. So I really wasn't like in Hamilton. And even now, I have a place in Toronto. And that's why it says Hamilton in Toronto.
Yeah.
Because like I have a place in Hamilton. I have a place in Toronto because I have a family in Toronto and my 2 older children live in Hamilton. So I'm back and forth.
Sure.
You know,
Naturally.
so... Hamilton is just like a beautiful, beautiful city. You know, I love all the, but you know what? And that's why on the Hamilstravaganza, because
go ahead.
what do you
Yeah,
got?
I got a drop question, not a trap question. You were talking about you're trying to make your way up to the OVO platform.
Right.
If you were A&Ring managing Drake's career,
Right.
what would you have told him to do following Not Like Us?
Would I have told him to follow up with Not Like Us?
No, what would you have told after Not Like Us, Kendrick's track comes out? What would be, because he's made a ton of moves since.
Oh, right.
What would have been your advice for?
Well, you know
the way
what?
to
To
take
be
it?
honest, I think what he did was the right thing because you remember right after that, what did he do? That parody track.
Yeah. Oh, the Wagwan Delilah.
That was the perfect thing.
Yeah.
Because you know what? I sat on that move, right? And I was like, you know what? He's a smart guy and he's got smart people around him. And what he was showing is like this. It's not that serious, bro.
I'm having fun over here.
It is not that serious. You start taking it too serious, you're gonna lose the fun. And what is the point?
Yeah.
Then you might as well work at an assembly line.
And he put out an album's worth of songs. after that.
And
two features
that
here,
new
another
one.
feature
Oh,
there.
what's that? Circadian Rhythm.
Oh, yeah,
I
see?
had that on repeat
Fire.
for like 36 to 4 hours, just like on repeat.
Yeah,
It was
the
so
Spotify
good.
numbers
I
just
painted
rated.
like, I think I painted like that whole New York piece over like 2 weeks, like
Wow.
to just
Just
that.
list.
Because when I get it, these songs in my mind. So you know what? I would have said do that.
Yeah,
you know what? I don't think I
People
would.
are like, oh, we should
I
have
don't
stepped
think I would have
away.
been
I was
clever
like,
enough to say
come
to
up
do
with doing
that.
such a
Like
a
so
silly song,
left
right?
field,
Yeah.
like Toronto. But it
That's
was
the next track,
But it was
too.
for the city too. You know, like
They just
that
dropped
was like
Canada-centric merch, like Toronto employee T-shirts and Vancouver
just did?
T-shirts. Just dropped those like today or yesterday.
So
all like
hard.
very Canada-oriented. It says Toronto City, whatever,
like city
and
department.
then it says staff on the back, right?
Hard.
Like just a bunch of stuff that
Yeah.
somebody from Detroit doesn't want, right? Like
Yeah,
just
yeah,
for
yeah,
here.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and that's really cool because when Wagwan Delilah dropped, it was like, and you know what? People still clown me for this. I don't even care. That was like a true love song. I don't care. That is a true love song for Toronto.
Yeah.
You know,
It was fully in the like Toronto slangs that people like
and yet.
parody and make fun of, right?
Yeah,
but he
parody
like did
make
it
fun of. But if
authentically.
you've ever been immersed in the actual culture of Toronto and been around, that's just a thing.
They're not doing it ironically.
It's part of it.
Sure.
It's part of it.
People
And
make
I
fun of like
think-
Smiley, and it's like I think he genuinely is. I mean,
and,
it's
and
not like
I think it was like, and I know it was a parody, but like, I don't care. It's like a real love song. Like I'll sing it still. And you know what? My daughter's name's Delilah.
Oh, it's an extra
and
connection.
so like that song will come on, and I'll go in, and my girl will be like, "Don't sing that version." I'm like, well, that's a little bit better. Anyway,
yeah, it's my favorite version.
Yeah.
You were talking about painting the New York piece.
Yeah.
I think I was introduced to you by this piece that I'm going to read right here.
Oh, okay.
Paint a soup can, you sell out.
Oh,
Love that piece.
Oh, you do.
I
Cool.
I like Andy Warhol.
Me too.
My last name's Campbell. Campbell's Soup. He just
Have you
like-
watched the Andy Warhol Diaries on Netflix?
Yeah, I have. Those are.
Buddy, I watched that. I literally
Yeah.
just finished watching it.
That's like
again.
a very personal. No, I mean it's not really about the art side as much as it's just
so
like about
good,
his
man.
life. Yeah.
You know what? That series, I watched it at the end of 2023.
Yeah.
That was the final pushing factor when I finished that series to go at art 100% in the
that's
beginning of
interesting.
2024.
I think it's 2023 probably when that It was right before that came out. I went to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
To like
go
to the museum.
You did.
I went to the museum and I went to Blue Slide Park, and it was like my birthday, and my wife time one was like, "What do you want to do?" And I was like, "I want to go to Pittsburgh just to go see Andy Warhol stuff and see Blue Slide Park."
Sick.
And in Pittsburgh, there ain't nothing else to do as far as I'm concerned. I know what else we were there to do. We just ate lunch. We went to the museum 2 days in a row.
Oh,
she
that's
was like,
so great.
I was like, "You're a trooper for putting up with this, but this is what I want to do. This is my birthday. This is what we're doing this weekend." So,
oh my goodness,
love Andy Warhol. That's why that piece I was like,
so
this
yeah,
connects.
so that piece came about. I always like, obviously the Campbell's soup can is such an iconic piece, and I always wanted to do my kind of like take on it.
Yeah.
So I had no ideas. I'm sitting there one day in the studio, and I'm like, I have notes with ideas that I'm working on.
Yeah.
And it said the Campbell's soup can, and I said, like, in my head, I was like, just paint the soup can and sell out. And then I just literally transferred right on to that was just that, you know? And you know what? It's funny that was like really one of my first like pieces of work. And when I look at it now, it's funny. I would do it so differently. Like if I were to physically make it now, like when I look at, you know, and I've tried not to learn how to be an artist for this reason, you know, because the raw realness of just like throwing it, I don't care about perspective and like, just get the raw emotion on the canvas, you know. And when I look at that piece now, I'm like, oh my goodness, look at the proportions. Like now I would have a can that I would reference. I've already thought about redoing this piece, and this is why I'm saying this.
You gotta let it live.
I would reference I would have a can that I kind of crushed. Then I would take the photo of that, and I would reference that photo to make the friggin' sketch.
We talk about it all the time in the studio. The part in like the art that you really like is like the rough strokes, the parts that aren't perfect, right? That's that's the part that ends up connecting.
Yeah,
right?
and that's the kind of like beauty in my art. You know, for one, I got like super ADD. I don't know, it's not diagnosed or whatever, but like for instance,
when I was a kid, it's mine.
when I was a kid, like I could draw super detailed. Like I'd start a Superman. I would draw like the face and the top shoulder super detailed, and then I was over it, and it would just be like scribble the rest. So that's so I've just accepted that now. I'm not the fine art like Emily Andrews. Hello, my goodness, she's like.
I was pointing at the camera.
Oh,
it's gonna work on mine.
She is so fantastic. Like, totally wish I could paint like her, but I don't have the patience. Sure. And I love that work, but I don't even have the want to do that. Yeah. You know, I enjoy my process where it's just rough around the edges because you know. That's what I want to portray, not a clean. Life isn't clean. We don't get out of here unscathed, you know? And that's the emotion, like the raw emotions aren't polished. Like,
that's me with the post notes. I'm like, that's the post note is to get the idea down. And I'm like, and then I'm leaving the idea. No, I'm like, that's the first and last version.
Yes,
I'm on to the next thing.
Right. Yeah. And that's super important too.
Yeah, that same idea of just like, I like that rough first take on it. Whether that's demo-itis or not.
Because as a creative yourself, I'm sure you can attest, I will overthink the idea right dead.
I'll wreck it. Yeah.
I'll ruin it. I'll have a great idea and overthink it right dead, you know? So I think that's super important as an artist, too, to not do that. When you have an idea, just execute it and send it out into the world. Like Andy Warhol says, like, and while they're debating it, make more art.
Make the next thing.
Yeah.
The real Banksy would hate this.
Oh, so that exhibit just made me sick. Okay, Banksy, maybe he's watching. He's not watching. I'll tell you why this made me sick. Okay?
I don't know if he's got a phone.
Is because I saw the original Banksy exhibit that Steve Lazarides, which is like Banksy's manager unofficially, put on in Toronto in an old warehouse, real Banksy stuff. Yeah. And it was phenomenal. Like the way you would want it. Like I'm an artist, okay? And especially as an artist, as just from what I've learned from his own speakings. I'm not going to put words into anybody else's mouth, but that was great. And then this one that came was at One Young, and just hate me if you want. I'm not a great person all around, but like One Young, barf for a Banksy exhibit. On the website, the bio that they wrote, could you get cornier?
And then you're charging the tickets on so other rich people. Now I don't care personally, just can get rich off his art. He hates that stuff.
Yeah, that's why he shredded the pieces.
He shredded the pieces, and it says on his pest control website, like, all this stuff is unauthorized. You know, he put his stuff up in public places so people could enjoy his art for free. Yeah. So the fact that these, you know, corporations rip them down, pay millions, put it up at one young with some corny thing.
Isn't what he'd want.
I was like, I know someone that's gonna go vandalize that.
Love how that worked. It's like a meeting in the middle.
Yeah,
like
it was just a meeting in the middle. And I'll tell you, the guy, he told me about it, like, just the heart pounding, you know, and just like spraying the paint and just getting the message across. It's like, I got a message, and whether anybody wants to hear it or not, I want to put it out. I got a choice today.
Yeah,
I never had a choice. You know, society made all my choices my whole life growing up. I got a choice today.
Yeah.
And I'm putting up the message.
I go add this. This is my own piece. Like,
this is my piece. Yeah. And they covered it up. And it was beautiful.
They were going to always.
I thought it might have caught some media attention.
Yeah.
But then I saw months later that guy went into the exhibit and spray painted the whole thing. I was like, I knew I should have done something.
Like, that's the one.
I knew somebody else should have done something like that. Yeah. That was cool.
What's the last video someone sent you on your phone? You have your phone. You have your phone. It's in your pocket.
The last video. How do I check that?
I don't know. You go to Instagram or something.
Okay, let's see.
What's the last thing someone sent you?
Oh, okay. Oh, you know what? Sazy. Speak of the devil.
Hold that up to the microphone.
Which one, here?
Yeah, and press that video. Oh, it's a whole video. You screenshot
You know what?
and send it to
This guy, let's just chat about Sazy for a minute. This guy is the absolute GOAT. Best rapper in Canada. Don't care if, and you know what? That might be a hard, but this guy is out of here. I'm telling you. And he's been, I can't believe you haven't heard of him.
I don't think I have.
Sazy, Scorsese. Maybe I'm just like, am I his super fan or like some corny guy?
You send me the Instagram. I'm going to look at the Instagram. I'm going to figure it out.
Old head, listen to this quick here. Now we're not going to do this on here.
I'm going to clip it all in.
We're going to clip. I'm going to send you, and we're going to clip it in.
Yeah.
Anyways, the GOAT. What was the question though? What was the last video?
You answered the question.
Yeah, he sent me it, and he said if you need background music, and I said
I need background music.
I got something for that.
Yeah,
I got
this
something
will
for
work.
that. And you know what? I love getting memes from the people I love. I don't care if it's corny.
No, send it to me.
I like it.
Yeah, you're thinking of me.
It means you're thinking.
You saw
of me.
something funny. You went. He's gonna find this.
He's gonna find that funny. Yeah.
See those post-it notes in front of you?
Yeah.
Read them for me. Read the first one first.
This is a beat. This is. You want me to do it in a radio voice? This is a.
Yeah, you got this.
This is a. This is a Because Design Matters exclusive. My name is Blank, and you've been watching Because Design Matters. What is a little exclusive concert?
Appreciate you coming out. We're gonna do this again. I'm gonna teach you what a little exclusive concert is next.
Okay.
We're gonna hear some songs.
My name is Blank, and you've been watching Because Design Matters.